My guest today is Kate Askew, sole owner and operator of the Yella Dog Press in Little Rock, Arkansas. Kate has always been a ferocious reader, evidenced by the library in her home and her avid love of books and the printed word.
And I fell into book buying and selling as a need to not have to be in a cubicle. Because, I knew I'd stayed home for a while with my kids, and I wanted to get back into the working world. I didn't want to be in a cubicle. And I started buying and selling things on eBay. And I realized that was a really great way to, be in your pajamas and make some money. Mm-hmm. And so I started out with, this was 1998, I think.
You were the first successful eBay seller that I ever knew.
You knew? Okay, yeah, but not, I was late to the game in 98. But anyway, I started buying and selling things, and what I realized I was good at buying and selling were books. So I grew up in a bookish household, a very bookish household. My dad's a book collector. He's never been a dealer, but he's a lifelong book collector, so I had a great love of books, great love of reading. Was an English major at Vanderbilt.
I was going to ask you.
Yeah, studied all kinds of literature and spent a lot of time in the rare book stacks at Vanderbilt. And so when I realized I was good at buying and selling books, I thought, well, that makes sense. That's what I know. So I decided to stick with what I knew and exclusively began buying and selling books.
I wondered if your degree in college played into your career, and it actually did.
Yeah, it did.
Because not everybody can say that.
I kind of segued a little bit. Because when I first got out of college, I remember I had a degree in English literature and I minored in philosophy and psychology, I think. I can't really remember. I had some kind of minor. I think it was those two. And Jess, who is my husband now, we've been married 30 years. He was finishing up.
Congratulations.
Thank you. He was finishing up law school in San Francisco, and we had just kind of started going out. And he said, look, we might have something here, but I don't do long distance. So why don't you grab a couple of girlfriends from college, move out to San Francisco, and let's see if we can make a go of this. And I thought, well, okay. So I got 3 of my friends to move to San Francisco with me. And
how fun is that?
Yeah, it was really fun, but I didn't have a job. And so my parents weren't too keen on me going out to San Francisco because they said, we don't know anybody there. And I said, well, now you will. And they said, well, you're going to have to get a job before you go because it's not like we're going to fund this adventure. So when I had been visiting Jess, I had met one person, and I called that person because he said he was starting a business. I couldn't really remember what it was. And I called him up and said, I'm looking for a job. Do you have one for me? And he said, sure. I'm starting a securities business, and I'll put you on the OTC trading desk as my assistant.
What's OTC stand for?
Well, I didn't know either. But it's over-the-counter stocks.
Oh.
And so I didn't have a finance degree. I didn't have any kind of business background whatsoever. So I said yes, told him when I'd be in San Francisco, and I went to the bookstore and bought a book called Understanding OTC Trading. And I read it on the way out to San Francisco. And I got there, and he said I had to pass my Series 7, which is a standardized test for securities traders. So I got out the book, and I studied it, and I passed that test. But the moral of the story is people always said, what are you going to do with that English degree? Ha, ha, ha. What are you going to do,
Study for your Series 7 test.
What I tell people is with, a liberal arts degree, if you can read, write, follow instructions, you can do anything.
What a great point.
So what trading securities taught me was, first of all, I can do anything because I learned flew by the seat of my pants. And also it taught me how to buy low and sell high, and you can leave some money on the table. It doesn't matter. If you sold it for more than you bought it, you're good. Don't sweat it. Just keep going, buy something else and sell it.
Are you still doing that? Are you a day trader?
No, I'm not. No, I do it sort of with books though.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm really good at going in, just like traders sometimes do, just get a feel, I think that's a good buy. I can go in and look at a library and kind of look at it and go, yeah, I can make money off that. So that's kind of how I've done it.
If you liked this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel by clicking on the picture in the center of the screen. For more of Kerry's interviews, click either video on the right of the screen. And as always, thank you for watching.